It's never been harder to be able to explain to kids how money works. You swipe a card, like you swipe, and then what they want is in their hands, right? You click a button and what they want is in their hands. We've completely disassociated the idea of like earning money, bringing it in, having a finite amount, and then making decisions about where it goes. I went through a really wonderful exercise with my oldest. Um, I've been talking to her a lot about charitable giving. Me and my husband have been, but that's often behind the scenes, and your kids can't see it, and they can't really understand it. So I went through a really wonderful exercise with her where we had a list of 10 potential organizations that we could give to. And I wrote it up in kids' language, like a few sentences to describe each. And she sat here at this desk and read through them. And we let her be the decision maker of which local organizations are going to get some of our charitable dollars this year. I am a vice president of a women's giving circle in this area. So it's where women pull their collective dollars in our county. And then we have a bunch of grantees apply for grants. And then a separate division of our organization roots through the grants and decides who the top contenders are. And then every member of our organization gets one vote. And we vote, and then our dollars get spread out to those grantees throughout the county. And so that's been a really eye-opening experience for me because that's not the world that I live in nonprofits, but it's helped me understand the needs of the community, what makes a really great nonprofit, and certainly the long-term impact. In the grant application, they give us a feel for what they would be doing with those dollars. So that's what I was able to provide to my oldest, was to say, this money would help X amount of kids achieve this. It would feed this many more kids, lunches. It would help these women succeed. And then I asked her a series of questions. Some of these organizations are helping people in the here and now, and some of these organizations are focused more on the future. Which one do you think is more important? I asked her which organization spoke to her and, why is that important? And it just was the most fun exercise. She sat here and she would talk out loud about what she thought and which ones mattered. One of her favorites was an after-school program that made sure that kids could get to after-school sports and activities if maybe their home life or their family did not allow that opportunity. So it scoops kids up in a van and takes them to practices. And she was like, I love doing sports after school. I think all kids should be able to do that. And it was really special. So then the organization, right? We all voted. So I got to come back to her and say, hey, of the ones that you chose, so there's 10 total, right? She chose 5 out of 10. 4 out of 5 were selected. So she felt like her vote really mattered. It was an exciting win for me. It felt really creative to be able to get her involved in the process. That's a challenge that I struggle with is, there's the physical volunteering of your time that you can bring your kids with, and then they're in it, they see it, it becomes a part of who they are. But when we're giving of our money to organizations, that's skipping past your kids. And I just think of all the lessons that you're teaching them. I've been trying to find ways to incorporate my kids into understanding that, you give of your time, your talent, and your treasure. And I would say the treasure part is harder for them to actually see. It doesn't have to be through an organization like mine was, right? You could easily sit and say, hey, we want to help, 5 organizations this year. And for some people, they want to stay local. For some people, they'd rather really focus in on particular causes. Make that list and sit with your kids and ask them, like, which one is important to you? Or why did you choose this? Or which need, do you think you see the most in our community? If the kids are older, you could ask them to do the research and say, which needs do you think are the most important? Why don't you come to us and tell us what you think they are? And together, the parent or the parents could decide where that money goes. So it certainly wouldn't have to be limited to my experience, which was through a giving circle. If someone has younger kids, typically I work it into a conversation when they start to get money for birthdays or for doing little odd jobs. And I separate into 3 categories: spend, save, and give. And so really simplify it for a kid who's maybe age 5 and up. And so when they start to get these dollars, you have to give them a little bit of their autonomy and say, what do you want to do? You got $10 from grandma. If you want to spend it, then we'll go ahead. I like to go to the dollar store because your money goes a lot further. So you'd be like, do you want to spend that money? Is that something that you want to do? Do you want to save it? Because you have a goal of buying something that's $30. So you take them on Amazon, you show them what they really want is $30, and then they can make the decision to save it. And then do you want to give it? So do you want to buy something for one of your siblings, or do you, recognize one of these causes that we've talked about, like something where you'd like to give your money?